All right, so I have tons of friends that have asked me, like, how do I start a podcast? What are all the steps? And I've also wondered to myself, is there an easy, just a simple podcast editor where I can just drag and drop in some files and have a podcast? And there kind of are, but you have to sign in for all of them. So I figured, like, can I just make one real quick? So that's what I'm going to do. I just set a 60-minute timer. I'm going to spend 60 minutes and see if I can build a full product in 60 minutes. All right, let's go. But y'all know I need the vibe coding outfit first. Let's get rolling. So let's start that timer. Go. All right. The one thing that I did ahead of time is that I didn't want to make you sit through me going through and asking ChatGPT and Gemini for a project outline. So I did start with the project outline. But here's what I asked it. I said, write a project outline for a simple web app that can easily edit a podcast. It will be a single landing page with a tagline at the top. Edit your podcast in 90 seconds. Below, well, incorrect English. Below there will be 3 spots where a user can upload an intro clip, the main content, and an outro clip. The tool will professionally and seamlessly combine them. Then the user can download either an MP3 or a WAV file. So it gave me these project outlines. So ChatGPT, I did the same thing in Gemini, and I was going to do it in Grok, but Grok was letting me down. I don't know, it just didn't respond. I'm not sure if it was just down for the moment or whatever. Love you, Grok, still a fan. Okay. And here's what I did. I'm going to use vo.dev today, and you could use something like Lovable. I am equally using both of these products. They're great. They're cool. And there's a bunch of other ones out there. If I'm sure you've looked, there's bolt.new, and then if you know any coding whatsoever, there's Cursor, Windsurf. The list goes on and on. I think more of these are going to come out as well. But okay, so I'm using vo.dev today. Here's what I did. I actually am copying and pasting. So this is what I did before hitting record, right? So I copy and pasted and said, hey, I'm going to give you 2 different project outlines. Tell me the one you think is best, and let's start building with that one. So I just pasted them in here, like number 1, and then number 2, I tried to paste it, but it's a snippet of text up here. Number 2, attached outline. So I'm going to let vo.dev decide which one we should build from. So let's go and let's see what it says. All right. It didn't tell me which one. It just kind of started. So hopefully it chose one. Hopefully I didn't confuse it. And hopefully I don't run into a roadblock. We'll see. Boom. And this is what we have come up with. The visual looks pretty cool. I like it. Now, it actually did tell me which one it chose. So after reviewing, I recommend going with the second outline from ChatGPT. With the safety consideration, here's why. So it gave me some reasons, which I think is cool. Key features implemented, the fun design, the core functionality, the safety measures, user experience. It explains how it works. There is one piece in here before I test it. Like it's not going to be fully functional. Now, there's going to be things that I need to do that I don't understand, and these are them. So the app processes the files simulated in this demo would use FFmpeg in production. So I don't know what that is, but it's obviously some sort of processor. So in a production environment, you would implement the actual audio processing using FFmpeg on the server, or FFmpeg dot whatever was WASM in the browser, but the UI and flow are fully functional. So if I can do it in the browser, that would be really cool. I'll have to learn. What I may do is a bit later, just make notes of that. And what I'll maybe do is do my own research and understand what those are to know what's going to be the best. I may not ask that in this chat specifically, but I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and do that real quick. Just grab those notes because I think they'll be interesting. So I use Trello for everything, simple podcast editor, drag and drop files made simple. Oh, now I did do domain research. I'll probably buy a domain name for this as well, for this tool, once I get it live. But and I'm literally just copy and pasting that information in there so that I can come back to it later and recall. So, all right, next up I'm going to do is I'm going to record 3 quick clips on my phone. You can use any recorder, right? So grab any sort of audio or whatever. I'm going to use the Google Record app, because you can go straight online and get those items. All right, so let me do that and I'll come right back. Here we go. Pretty cool because if you use the recorder, the Google Recorder app, it can sync up online and then you can get it right here. And what I'm going to do is intro file. And here's my simple outro file. Let me save these. So now I have all three of those saved in a folder. Let me close that out. Let's go back to this tool. Let's just try to use it, right? Now it's not even deployed, so it's not public. So I don't know what this means for me trying to use it, but we're about to find out. Podcast tool. Let me see if I can drag and drop into this screen. Okay, cool. So it knows it's import a main file, outro, done. Okay. I just dragged and dropped those rather than I'll try it again in a moment and I'll try to upload them and make sure it works. So I confirm I have the right to use these audio files. We never store audio. Everything is deleted automatically after processing. Combine my podcast. I don't like that button text, but that's all like no big deal stuff, right? Whoa, this is really cool. Like a little celebratory celebration thing. Let's try to download an MP3. All right. That did not work. It only downloaded the main piece of the content. So, yep, same here. Can I right click and save as? Does it actually save as an MP3? I'm not sure. Okay. Start over. All right, let me try it one more time. I'm going to upload the files. I think I'll have the same issue. Upload main content. Outro. Processing. Yep, still the same problem. Let me triple confirm that I added the correct files. Let's make sure the issue is not on my end, right? So let me just play this intro. Yeah, okay. So I uploaded the correct files. Okay, so we need to go back to these guys and say, hey, it didn't add the files together. First, have to compliment it. The tool looks great. Can you fix this, please? Gotta be nice. All right, let's see what it says. All right, so I'm going to ask for a few updates here. Again, not concerned about the look or feel or anything, but can we make it so that I can visually see the audio files on individual timeline lines when uploaded? Can we make it so I can easily trim the beginning and end with slider bars so that when the main file is combined, it flows better? And will the tool also blend the files together in a seamless manner so it's not abrupt? So the changes are not abrupt. All right, let's see what this can do with this. I think my next question I'll ask is like, cool, what do we need to do to make it production ready? Because I just think that it's so much cooler if we can get to the point where we can test this live, right? Like on a website, on a live URL where I can go drop in some audio files and get it to work. Like to me, that's magic. It's magical. Pretty cool. Got just over 30 minutes left. Let's see where we can get. All right, so I requested those updates. Let's look at the latest version here. We're going to test out. We'll just throw in these clips. Now, again, I don't want to get super caught up in user. Oops. Was that like a user error? What happened there? I'm not really sure. Let's make sure. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure what happened. Okay. So cool. This is much better. The slider bar is, I see a slider bar at the end. Yeah, I don't know why the beginning starts like that. This beginning slider bar needs to have the same visual look, but totally cool. I don't want to get super caught up in this because I want to get a tool that's working and live. That's what I want, right? So crossfade, don't really think I even need crossfade, combine audio, combine the podcast. So the question is like, how is it processing this? Yep. So it's working, it's functional. And so now my question is, I asked, okay, what do I need to do to get this thing production ready? Because I only have 15 minutes, right? And it gave me all this information. I read through it. It's a lot. So, but what I'm going to ask is, what do I need to do to use this tool deployed on Vercel ASAP to launch and use this tool and deploy it on Vercel? What are the minimal items I need to do to launch and use this tool and deploy it on Vercel ASAP? Because I'm running out of time here.